Indian pharmaceutical giant Lupin's Q2 earnings were quite a decent show. Sales rose 5.9% to over 40 billion rupees from the previous year, but was down over 5% on a sequential basis, while EBITDA was down nearly 40% from the previous quarter and up modestly from the year before. Its India sales were up nearly 16% on year in Q2, but it's continuing to hone in on its North American operations, with sales there growing 2%. It's one of the biggest pharma players in the US, and in the last quarter it launched 3 products there and filed for 4 abbreviated new drug applications, also known as ANDAs, with the FDA, Food and Drug Administration of the United States. Vinita Gupta is the CEO of Lupin, joining us live from Mumbai with her thoughts on the earnings and the road ahead. Vinita, great to have you in the show. Thank you very much for your time. So lukewarm would be the overall call on the numbers. What do you think stood out for you in this quarterly report that you can tell investors is like the big thing to watch out for as we recover from COVID in this phase?
Well, a couple of things. One, as you noted, we have impact of some one-time items in our numbers, so that really skews the numbers a little bit. But if you look at the operating performance of the company, if you look at revenues without the NCE income that we had in Q1 and other one-times, revenues actually grew quarter on quarter very nicely at 5.9%. And it was driven by growth both in the US as well as our India business. Our US business grew over 7%. India business year over year grew at over 14%. So very robust growth in 2 key regions. And really all our other markets, majority of other markets grew a double digit with COVID restrictions easing across all of the major countries around the world. So, we are very pleased with the start of building revenue growth momentum and expect this to continue in the quarters to come. Likewise, on the profitability, again, there was the impact of a lot of one-times when you compare it quarter over quarter, especially versus Q1. We had a major NCE licensing income from BI on Q1. But if you look at the operating performance of the company without the one-times, without the FX impact, our operating EBITDA actually grew from 14.3% in Q1 to 14.9% in Q2. Not that we are happy with 14.9%, nowhere close to where we should be as an organization, but it's a move in the right direction. And with all the efforts that we have underway, both to grow the top line with the right products as well as the cost containment measures, we're confident of growing the business from a profitability standpoint in the quarters to come.
Okay, wonderful. And we'll talk more about your product pipeline as well. I just want a clarification on this news piece that I've picked up, and you may want to even set the record straight on this one, on 2 blood pressure medications that are being recalled over certain reported impurities. I believe the FDA has asked you to do that. Could you clarify in the US?
Yeah, we had irbesartan as well as the combination product that was recalled. Actually, we stopped promoting the product a while ago and just issued the formal recall right now. So it is not new news. It was in implementation already for the last 6 months, but a matter of following the procedure to really be able to inform all of the customers, and downstream of the recall.
I'm reading here that Indian players roughly import 66 to 70% of their bulk drug requirements from China, and the power crisis that we are seeing up there could throw the pharma market in, throw it off gear, if you will. Could you tell us what exposure you have and what kind of what do you expect from the power crisis and the impact on your business?
Yeah, we certainly expect impact across the industry. With what is going on in China. We are We rely on China for a number of basic materials. Lupin's exposure is in the 15 to 20% range when you look at our overall volume. At the same time, our team has worked very hard to ensure continuity of supply. We have strategically increased our inventories in places where we thought it was essential, and feel good about the ability to really manage through the challenges in the near term, in the quarter ahead, and are working towards ensuring that continuity of supply in Q4 and beyond as well.
And just something fun that I'm reading here, Lupin has gotten a Guinness World Record title for creating the largest book sentence. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about that? What's that all about?
Well, our India region formulations team, a domestic market team, really took it upon themselves to really announce our new cardiovascular effort with a bang, and really created one of the longest sentences with the books. It was quite a visual. I didn't get a chance to see it in person, but I saw the video. It was quite a visual that they shared with the folks at Guinness, and determined that it makes it to the Guinness World of Records.
Vinita, how real is the risk of a third wave in India after what happened in May of this year with wave 2? And as a drug company, how geared are you to step in and build a pipeline, so to speak, of drugs, or even for that matter, source drugs that could help with the COVID-19 fight?
I believe we are much better prepared than we were in the last 2 waves. We have learned a lot as country as well as industry through the last 2 waves. Really, the level of vaccination has grown significantly with 1 billion doses. We crossed 1 billion doses this month. Still have a long way to go to really immunize the population at large. But we are at a very good ramp rate of immunization, of vaccination. With what this virus has done in terms of variants, it is hard to really predict where this will go in the future. I mean, we're all learning to live with COVID as opposed to assuming that this is going to disappear. But we believe that we're much better prepared at this point than we were at the start of the pandemic. From a company like ourselves, we started, at the beginning of the pandemic with the dual mission of keeping our employees safe while continuing to supply essential medicines. We were able to do that effectively. We had no disruption in our business at all. And it came at a cost. We had increase in costs from a logistics standpoint, from a labor standpoint, but we incurred all of that to ensure that we maintain supply of essential medicines. And we continue to be committed to that cause. As we look at any potential wave in the future, in the coming quarters, we are prepared with plans and procedures much better than we were in the past. From a medicine standpoint, companies like ourselves really like to be part of the solution in situations like this pandemic. And we were very pleased right at the beginning of the pandemic. Critical medicines like anti-infectives, azithromycin, like inhalation products, albuterol, were key in handling patients and in serving patients. And we were there to serve that cause. With where the treatment is at present, we are prepared with the latest developments in therapeutics. When the Merck drug, molnupiravir, or the Pfizer drug, the protease inhibitor, they're prepared with both API as well as finished dosages to meet the need if there is another wave.
Vinita, thank you very much for coming on this morning. And again, congratulations on that Guinness World Record. Vinita Gupta, CEO of Lupin. We're in the home stretch of the show now. We'll be back with a look at opening trades in India. Don't go away.